want to take just a couple of minutes tonight to tell you a little bit more about myself besides what he's already said, and to tell you why I would love to be your state representative in the Colorado General Assembly. If I had to put it in one word, I think it would be passion. I truly have a passion for this community and a passion for the state of Colorado, for its schools and for its people and for its wildlife and its open spaces. And I think that all comes from growing up in Colorado. I grew up in a little house about 40 miles southeast of Pikes Peak. And I could walk out every day in my backyard and look out at that beautiful mountain, you know, the purple mountain with the snow cap on it. And there was nothing between me and that mountain. Everything was just wide open. And I went to great schools. I can tell you every school teacher that I had from kindergarten through 6th grade and probably well beyond. And I watched my father go to that steel mill every day and work hard. And when we had to go to the doctor, I'll never forget, we had a little form about this big, and it was blue for some reason. And it was real simple. There was about 3 lines on there. It took about a minute to fill it out. And you'd fill that form out, and you'd go to the doctor, and you'd hand it to him. You'd get your medicine, the checkup, whatever, and everything was taken care of. And Colorado has changed a lot since then. But, you know, as I walk this House district, and I have, as I said, for about the past 6 months, people talk about 3 or 4 issues. First thing they talk about is health insurance. You know, there's 800,000 of these people who don't have it, or health care. And a quarter of those are kids. And I just don't think that's right. And I want to fight to make sure, starting with kids and senior citizens, that everybody in Colorado has access to health care. Yesterday, you probably know, Andrew Romanoff said in his opening speech to both sides of the aisle, of course, he said, I think there's one thing we can all agree on here, and that is that every kid in Colorado ought to be able to go to the doctor. I certainly agree with that. And those people that I talk to on the doorsteps, they say, we have health care, but it's very precarious. The costs are going up so much that we don't know if our employer is going to be able to afford it. I certainly can't afford it. So health care obviously is a huge issue and something that I have a lot of ideas on, and certainly like to talk to you about it in more detail. Number 2, people are talking about schools. In fact, the lady that just left, I don't know if you saw her, but she's very passionate about schools and what's happening in DPS and with her kids. And she said, I have to go now, but I'm going to send my husband over to finish this conversation with you. And like I said in my very first sentence, schools are very important to me. I've been a high school teacher for 27 years. I had a great education in public schools. Things have changed now, though. So I want to bring my passion for schools in my 27 years, as well as a good dose of common sense to the debate on education in the legislature. And I think next, people are very concerned about the state of our environment in Colorado. We hear a lot about transportation. We hear a lot about clean energy. Of course, I want to make sure Colorado remains the clean energy capital of the United States. Transportation is very important as we accommodate this growth, but I think that we need to look for alternatives. Of course, our friends in the Republican Party, they want to just pave more lanes. I think especially going up the I-70 corridor, down I-25 as far as the New Mexico border and north to the Wyoming border, I think we need to look for alternative forms of transportation. Because the more lanes that we build, the more cars that are there, the more pollution, the more development, and all of the thing just begins to spiral. And so I'm very concerned about that, as are the people that I've begun to talk to. But you know, we can't really invest in any of these things until we untangle this fiscal knot that our Constitution has been tied up in. And of course, again, our friends in the legislature now have been talking about that for the past few months and even in the last couple of days. They're talking about taking it to the people and figuring out how we're going to untangle this fiscal knot. So let me kind of wind down here by just saying that the state has changed a lot since I grew up in that little house. You can't see Pikes Peak anymore. The schools have changed. Health insurance needs lots of help. And I want to, again, bring my passion for health care, for education, for the state's natural environment, to the state legislature, to the Colorado House of Representatives, and represent you. So tonight I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking that you write a check either tonight and leave it here, donate online if you can. I'm asking especially that you go to the caucus, that you help us out there by voting for us, and even as important, if not more importantly, get involved at the caucus level. Get elected to go to the county assembly. Because at the county assembly, I have to get 30% to get on the primary ballot. And besides that, I think, our politics needs to get back to grassroots. It needs to get back to a true democracy. And so that's what I'm basing my race on. Again, I walk and I walk and I walk and I talk. And it's not the beautiful people, it's not always the activists, of course, whose doors I go to. People are surprised to see me. And a lot of them say, hey, just because you're here, I'm going to support you. And I think that's what politics is all about. So again, I ask for your support in any and all of those ways, and I thank you very much. Please go to our website, and I think that we're going to have a question and answer period right now. Or you can, of course, talk to me individually. You can always call me, email me, anything.